Hello, everyone. In this short video, we are going to review Keller Williams Compliance Roadmap. The purpose of this roadmap is to ensure that all of your documents are compliant and set to go prior to your closing, but this is also going to be beneficial in terms of helping you upload your documents into Command, getting them signed for signatures, and things of the like. This will make everything much easier. So as we can see our compliance roadmap here on the screen, it's 10 simple steps. Now 10 may not seem simple, but I promise once you go through this once or twice and get the hang of it, it will become second nature. So we're going to quickly go through this roadmap at a little bit of a high speed. Step number one would be to add your client in to Command as a contact. I'm going to jump over into Command and I have already added my contact in. Step number two is to create an opportunity for the deal. In order to do this, you'll click on Opportunities and then Create Opportunity. First thing you're going to do is select your opportunity type. Please note that this is most important as you cannot change the opportunity type after it has been created. If you have a co-seller, any related contacts will automatically pop up right here. You can leave a lot of this information blank for now. A commission rate is mandatory, but you can always change it later on if you're not sure. Finally, you're going to see the opportunity phase and stage. Now, this is designed to help you master your pipeline, to see what deals you have coming down the road, what you're currently working on, etc. But whenever you are adding in an opportunity, if you know you're going to be working with this person shortly, go ahead and put them in the active phase. This allows the Market Center leadership team to view your opportunity when you submit your documents for a compliance review. Once we're going to click on Create, we now see that this opportunity has landed in my timeline. So I'm going to click on it and it's going to open up a new tab. And here is where we will do step 3. And step 3 is to add in the property address on the details page. All we're going to do is click on this little pencil and begin to type in the street address. I will use our office to make it easier. Everything will automatically populate for you, and you'll click on Save. And now we see that our property address is saved within the details, as well as listed as the attached property up at the top. So step 3 is done. Moving on to step 4, we're going to head over into our Documents section. Now you're going to see a message pops up and it says to start work with an opportunity, please select your checklist type first. All that means is you're coming over to the left side of your screen, clicking this drop down and telling the system what type of deal you are doing. Now please note the different checklists will be different for every market center, so if yours doesn't look exactly like the screen, that's quite all right. I will click on residential and now we notice that 3 different checklists have loaded for us, each of which gives us an indication as to what documents are required, conditional, optional, and at which point during the transaction we should be getting this paperwork signed. Once our checklists have loaded, we are going to come over to the right and click on the Start a Transaction button. This will open up a new tab into DocuSign, and it will create a room for us. Whoops, let's give that a little refresh. All right, now we are in the room and we are going to notice that the room name is exactly the same name as our opportunity and our address has transferred over as well. Now the beauty of this workflow is that all of the required docs, some of those optional documents are all going to be loaded into our room automatically as soon as we hit that Start a Transaction button. So this roadmap will help save a lot of time in needing to find documents one by one and manually add them into the room. Now we're going to pretend like we filled all of these out for signatures, and I'm going to take a couple documents and move on to step 6, which would be sending the paperwork for signatures. So I'm going to click on those documents, hit that pen icon, and we're going to notice a little pop-up that asks, who are we sending this to? So in this instance, I'm going to click Seller 1 and Listing Agent. Now please note, depending on what documents you're bringing in, you will get other roles such as the listing broker, buyers, etc. Note that whenever you are sending out listing paperwork, the signing order needs to be as follows. The client signs first, and then the agent, and then the broker. When we come into the envelope, we are going to notice that our set signing order is checked off by default. You can uncheck that to ensure that everyone gets the documents at once. But if you need to send them in a specific order, just click on that box and you can rearrange the order simply by changing these numbers around. So I just made the change that the seller one would sign first and then the listing agent. And if I had that listing paperwork, our broker's signature would be here as the third recipient. Once that is good to go, you will click on Next. And now I advise you to just do a quick scroll through of all of the documents that are in your room to ensure all of the signature fields are placed properly and everything is filled out. If you need to add anything else, you can simply click on the appropriate color that matches with the contact and drag and drop any signature, initial fields, etc. that need to be added. If you add one by accident, just hit delete and that will go away. We're then going to hit send and those documents will be off for signatures. So we've fast forwarded in time and now we see that my envelope has been completed and everyone has signed. When I come back into my Documents tab and give this a little refresh, we are going to see that duplicate documents should be made. There they are. So now we have a copy of every form template that we have sent for signatures. Now this is ideal if you're working with a buyer and submitting multiple offers. The original documents will still be available for you to edit and send out for signatures, but you'll be able to notate a signed document by this little green icon with the check mark that says signed right underneath. Now, step 8 would be to upload all of your documents into the opportunity checklist. We're going to come here, I'm going to give this just a quick refresh to make sure it's updated. And now we are going to see that our Start a Transaction button becomes a Go to Transaction button, so you can easily access the room at any time. And now we have the opportunity to attach files either from DocuSign directly or from our computer. Since we have the DocuSign workflow as part of our compliance roadmap, I can select the folder in which my documents are held. And now it is extremely easy for me to just click on this drop-down menu, click on the document that matches with the line item, and that's it. We're going to pretend that this says lead paint, so I will add the lead paint there, pretend this says permission to advertise. Well, that one didn't work, but that's okay because this is just a test. But as you can see, it's very easy to add those documents. I didn't need to manually download them from DocuSign and save them on my computer and manually upload them in Command. Once you have all of the required and any conditional or optional paperwork added, you will click on the Submit to MC button. MC stands for Market Center, and this is your way of sending the documents to the Market Center leadership team to ensure that everything is compliant. The beauty of having 3 different checklists is that we advise you to submit each checklist as soon as all the documents have been finished. This is beneficial for 2 ways. For the Market Center, it gives us an idea as to when your deal may be closing so we can be better prepared to pay you in an even more timely manner. But for the agent's end, this is to ensure that everything is compliant. And if any paperwork needs to be fixed, this prohibits you from having to go back to your client a week or 2 after closing and say, hey, I need your initial on a wire fraud form. No one wants to do that. So by submitting everything as it's completed and as you go through the transaction, it just puts everyone in a better situation. So you would go through each of these checklists, upload the documents, and submit them. Once they have been reviewed, it will either say approved or rejected next to each checklist, and every line item within the checklist will have a little notation if it has been rejected and what changes need to be made. That's everything we need to do for the documents. The final step, step 10, is to submit our commission request. So regardless if you're working with a seller or a buyer, you're going to need to put in all of the offer information. Now, you don't have to put in as many details as you may think if you already know the accepted offer information. Now, just so everyone knows, this is a tool that you can use to present multiple offers to your sellers, but it's not required to do so. So I'm going to put in my offer details. Let's say, hypothetically, an offer was made on the 27th, and our planned closing date is going to be August 31st. When I go to parties, we see that my client's name and the agent name has all been filled out for us, and all we need to do is put in the name of our buyer and their associate's name. So I will put in the buyer's name and the associate's name. I will go to terms. The most important part of this terms section is the sales price. You're going to notice you can't type in a number in the sales price box, but you can type in the money amounts between the cash or finance boxes. This is up to you if you'd like to split them. On our end, it does not matter. So if the price of the home is $900,000, you can go ahead and put in $900,000 in either box, so long as that final sales price is accurate. We can go to agent analysis, and if the offer has already been accepted, we can save this and skip this. But if you are using this as a tool to present the offers to your sellers, this is where you can provide any of your agent analysis and your advice and provide that to your sellers for them to make an informed decision. Once we hit save, we now see that this offer will show up on our offer timeline. I will click accept, and then we're going to go in and click on manage commission. You're going to notice that the contract date needs to be inputted, so we're going to click on edit general information, click on this little calendar box, and this will allow us to plug in the contract date. Now please note these dates do not have to be exact. You can get them as close as you can, but remember that the leadership team has all of the paperwork, so we do know the correct dates. This is also where you can make any final changes to your commission rate, the sales price, etc. So if you needed to adjust that commission percentage, that commission total will adjust for you automatically. Same thing if I were to change the price of the property, everything flips over pretty quickly. I will then click on Save Changes. If nothing else needs to be done, we just click on Submit, and then our commission request is sent off to the Market Center. Believe it or not, we went through that whole 10-step process in just about 10 minutes. Now, ideally, this won't happen in everyday life because this process does go, well over the course of a day. But hopefully this video showed you how simple it is to follow the compliance roadmap. And by doing so, it will truly help you preparing your documents, submitting them for review, and getting your commission request into the Market Center in a timely manner. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the Market Center Tech Trainer in your office. Best of luck. Happy selling and buying.